who are greater than God's word. Traditions can be important. And he says, as far as he was concerned, he was extremely zealous for God. He loved God in his mind, or at least he was trying to be getting God's approval. He was really very radical for God in the early days. That's important to know because Paul knew what radical was all about. He was radical, he was intense, he was intelligent. He went through all the highest schools that were there. He was serving God, though, as he sought that when he was persecuting the Jews who believed in Jesus was the Son of God, he thought he was doing a good thing. And that's sometimes the case. We do things that we think are good for a good reason. But what was really there, Paul was radical for God before he had encountered Christ. He was so religious. He was all about proving his devotion through his own zeal. His own zeal for God. It is, as he says, a confidence in the flesh. In Romans chapter 10, verses 2, 3, 4, and 5, he says, "For I can testify about them." That is, about the Jews. He was a Hebrew of Hebrews. He was very much involved in Judaism. He was trained. He was in the highest schools of the time. And his background was both as a Roman and as a Greek and as a Roman citizen, but he was a Jew of Jews. He was trained by the very best, Gamaliel, which was one of the highest level of training in Judaism as a Pharisee. So he was a Pharisee. Did Jesus ever talk to Pharisees? Huh? Do you remember that? Many times Jesus would say, do you know the difference between a Pharisee and a Sadducee? You see, a Sadducee is Sadducee because they didn't even believe in the resurrection. But the Pharisees, they believe in God's strength and power and law, and we're going to demand it and command it. They were all wrapped up in their own righteousness. For he says, I can testify that the Jews have a zeal for God, but it's not based on knowledge. Is zeal enough? If you're religious, is that enough to get you to heaven? You can be so religious. You can be going to you can go to college and seminary and everything like this, and it's still possible that you don't really know the Jesus that's in the Bible. You don't know